Breaking news! There's been a lot of buzz around the web recently. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on here, but first, make sure to click the like button if you think we'll make it to the Super Bowl. And what are your expectations for the game against the Bears? Let us know in the comments below. First, some big news about our man, David Montgomery. A few days ago, head coach Dan Campbell gave us some tough words. Montgomery was out for the rest of the season. But guess what? The tide is turning. Montgomery has been consulting with medical experts, and the latest reports are optimistic. That's right, folks. There's now hope that he could return during the playoffs. NFL insider Ian Rappaport shared that while surgery was initially feared, Montgomery may have avoided that scenario. He's ready to begin rehab with the goal of joining the team during the postseason. This is a huge win for our offense, as Montgomery has been an integral part of one of the most dynamic running back duos in the league, alongside Jahmyr Gibbs. Montgomery's high-powered running style has racked up 775 yards and 12 touchdowns this season. Imagine what he could bring to the field when it matters most. Now, let's talk about what has been a challenging time for our Lions. After a tough 48-42 loss to the Buffalo Bills, critics and fans alike began to question whether this team has what it takes to go far. Injuries have hit our defense hard, and our offense showed some early sluggishness in that game. The doubts are high, but our players are even higher. Right tackle Penei Sewell had a fiery message for the naysayers. The real ones know we're going to find a way at the end of the day. If you want to keep questioning, go ahead and go down. You'll see what happens. That's the kind of grit and belief that defines this team. Wide receiver Jameson Williams echoed that sentiment, emphasizing the team's focus on bouncing back against the Bears on Sunday. Despite the challenges, the Lions have already clinched a playoff spot and are in contention for the NFC North title. The stakes are high, but the belief in that locker room is even higher. That's the resilience that Coach Campbell has preached since day one, and it's clear the players are fully committed. Switching gears to this week's injury report, there are a few notable updates as we prepare for the matchup against Chicago. Thursday's practice saw the return of several players who were rested earlier in the week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Taylor Decker and Zadarius Smith were among those who logged full practices after their days off, which bodes well for Sunday. On the other hand, some concerns remain. Graham Glasgow missed another practice with a knee issue, making his availability questionable. David Montgomery, as expected, was also absent as he continues to recover from his knee injury. Center Frank Ragnow was listed on the report with a back issue but is expected to play. Safety Brian Branch, however, was moved from a non-participant to a limited practice, signaling progress. There was also encouraging news from linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin, who practiced for the first time since being sidelined. Ifeatu Melifonwu will also log the full practice, and there's cautious optimism that he could be ready to play sooner than expected. Lions fans, this stretch of the season is what we've all been waiting for. It's a test of grit, resilience, and heart, everything this team stands for. Whether it's overcoming injuries, shutting down doubters, or fighting for the NFC's top spot, the Lions are in the thick of it. And now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Montgomery's potential return? Are you as hyped as we are about this team's resilience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn has some strong words for anyone doubting the team's potential this season. With a 12-2 record, Glenn isn't buying any of the pessimistic narrative that's been circulating since the tough loss to the Buffalo Bills. Glenn said, and I quote, "We're headed to the playoffs. We're in the tournament. Why the hell is the sky falling on us? What do we have to sit around and be sad about?" He didn't mince words, reminding everyone that the Lions are tied for the best record in the NFC and lead in categories like points scored, scoring margin and red zone defense. But here's the thing, the Lions defense is dealing with a series of setbacks due to injuries. In the game against the Bills alone, Alan McNeil tore his ACL, Carlton Davis III suffered a fractured jaw, and the team is already without key players like Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Alex Anzalone and Derek Barnes. Despite the challenges, Glenn remains optimistic, saying, "I think we can be a very good defense." He added, "We've lost 2 games. We have a chance to win and accomplish everything we want to accomplish. Why should we wallow and think the sky is falling? It's silly." One silver lining for the Lions defense is the potential return of cornerback Emmanuel Moseley. Moseley's comeback story is nothing short of inspiring. After tearing both ACLs in consecutive seasons and a pectoral muscle in training camp, Mosley is finally close to making an impact. Glenn praised Mosley's resilience, saying, "You watch him practice, and it doesn't look like he hasn't played in 2 years." Lions fans, how great would it be to see Mosley back in action for the playoffs? Let's switch gears to the offensive line. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson didn't hold back in his critique of the unit's performance, calling it inconsistent. The Lions' O-line has shown flashes of dominance this season, but last week's rushing performance, just 48 yards on 15 carries, was their worst of the year. Johnson did praise the pass protection, noting that Jared Goff had time to throw despite the Bills' relentless pressure. With veterans like Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, and Kevin Zeitler getting some much-needed rest, the hope is for a stronger showing in the final stretch of the season. On the special teams front, coordinator Dave Phipp addressed the Lions' onside kick attempts against the Bills. While the execution was solid, the team couldn't recover either kick. Phipp explained the challenge of balancing an aggressive recovery attempt with preventing a big return. Despite the outcome, he remained optimistic about the unit's overall performance. Finally, Lions fans, this week brings an exciting opportunity to bounce back as the team faces the Chicago Bears. With a playoff berth already clinched, the focus shifts to fine-tuning every aspect of the game and building momentum for the postseason. Aaron Glenn summed it up perfectly: our job is to go play football, and that's what we're going to continue to do. So, what do you think, Lions fans? Do you agree with Glenn's take that there's no reason to panic? How confident are you in this team's ability to overcome adversity and make a deep playoff run? The Detroit Lions are in a position we've all dreamed about for years, a serious playoff contender. But let's be real, the defense is hanging on by a thread after an injury-plagued season. So what if I told you there was a 6-time Pro Bowler potentially available to bolster our defensive line at the right time? Yep, we're talking about none other than Calais Campbell. Campbell, currently with the Miami Dolphins, has sparked rumors of a possible release if Miami is officially out of the playoff picture. According to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, the Dolphins could release Campbell to allow him to join a playoff-bound team. And guess what? TWSN's Marissa Myers believes Detroit could be the perfect landing spot for the veteran defensive lineman. Let's break it down. Campbell may be 38 years old, but he's still making waves on the field. This season alone, he's racked up 4 sacks, 32 pressures, and 10 tackles for loss. Plus, his versatility, being able to play both inside and outside, makes him a dream addition to a Lions team that lost 3/4 of its starting defensive line. Imagine pairing Campbell's experience and production with the talent we already have. It's a move that could turn a deep playoff run into a legitimate Super Bowl push. But here's the rub: even if Miami lets him go, Campbell would have to clear waivers. Given his skill and playoff value, plenty of teams will want him. And with Detroit ranking near the bottom of the waiver priority list, the odds aren't exactly in our favor. Still, stranger things have happened in the NFL, and until the ink dries on someone else's contract, we can only dream. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Would you love to see Calais Campbell in Honolulu Blue? Do you think he's the missing piece to help our defense dominate in the playoffs? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the latest Lions news and updates. Let's keep this momentum going as we head into the postseason. Let's go, Lions!